Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi and welcome. So today I thought I would just do a simple kind of sit down, get ready with me while I talk about things that have been kind of going on recently. Like, my uploading has been very kind of scarce and I've obviously just not really been myself recently, and a lot of people who kind of like follow me online will know why. But I thought I would just kind of like talk about a lot of things that have kind of just been going on, not just the sad stuff, but some kind of like happy things as well. I am gonna obviously do my makeup as we go along, and I don't think I'm gonna remember to put anything in the description, so what I'm gonna do is try my best to kind of show you what I'm using, if that makes any sense. So yeah, let's just kind of like get started. And I guess the reason that I wanted to kind of do like a get ready with me is because, yeah, I've just got so much to kind of like talk about at the moment, because in my videos I do always like kind of mention things here and there, but now I guess I can just kind of in this video kind of focus on things I want to say, as opposed to like going, here's a new makeup item, here's this item that I want to talk about today. So obviously these videos are very kind of like personal and kind of very like just raw, and like how I just kind of go with the flow. I know that there are like topics that I want to talk about and things that I like need to kind of just get off my chest and stuff, but I guess one of the main things I'm really excited to tell you guys is that I have a job finally. Yay, it's taken me a good few months, and to be honest I thought it would be longer, but to be honest I'm extremely grateful that I have finally got a job. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is yet, just because I kind of want things to kind of go off without I've hit, you know, like when you have like your probation period and stuff like that. So I will be working part-time, and this is kind of like a big struggle after everything that I've kind of been going through when it comes to like seeking employment. Like, I've had so many interviews, I've had so many rejections, I've had so many companies ignore me, like literally ghost me when I've emailed them saying, hi, I've had an interview with you, and I'm still waiting. God knows like how many weeks later that I'm waiting for a response, and companies just don't care. Like, they really just don't give a shit. And I know that they have a lot of people that they have to kind of get to and kind of like, you know, tell them the good news that they've got a job, and then adding them onto the system and adding them onto the database and whatever, blah blah blah. But the people that have spent their time to like go to your interviews, to prep, to do everything, I feel like deserve a bit more recognition, if that makes sense. Like, I went to a job interview at like 8:30 in the morning, and I'm like, you could have given me some kind of decency to kind of say, oh, I'm really sorry, but you weren't the fit for it, and that would have been totally fine. Like, there's so many rejections that I've had that are just your generic email just saying, you know, we've moved forward and this and that, and that's understandable. Obviously it's very disappointing, but at least I've heard from them and I'm not just kind of hanging on, you know. And there was one company that I did get a job, and then they effed me over. I have spoken about this in one of my last videos, and maybe in the future, if people want to know the tea, I'm very happy to spill it, because I don't owe this company anything, to kind of not tell you guys about what happened, because it was just shocking. And yeah, I'm still quite bitter about it, just because like when it comes to employment, it's nothing to mess about. Like, it's someone's future, someone's money. I have to pay my bills. My poor husband has to like work all these like longer hours just so I can like live my life. Not to say that I don't have any money coming in. I do, but when he's funding a lot more money compared to what I am, and I want to actually have a job and I want to work and stuff like that, it's just shocking that brands and companies just do not care. Like, I know that they don't care because it's such a big market out there where people are like, there's hundreds and thousands of people doing the same thing as me, looking for a job and struggling and stuff. But you know, it's very disheartening when you've been told that you have a job, and then a few weeks later you've been told that the job has been given to someone else, and I'm like, how does that even work? But yeah, I'll do like a more in-depth kind of chat about it maybe in the future. So yeah, at least I have a job now. I'll be doing part-time, so it'll be 3 days, 3 probably long days, which I guess is like fine, because I'd rather work longer days than kind of more short days, if that makes any sense. And just because obviously with baby as well, he's not in nursery, my husband will be kind of like taking our turns looking after him, because we just don't have the money to put him into a nursery, and I'd rather just we do it ourselves, if that makes any sense. But he still goes to playgroup and stuff, which is great. Like, he's becoming a lot more confident with like other kids and stuff, which is so fun. And he's like 1 and a bit now, obviously, and it's just insane how much, like, how time is just progressing. And celebrating his first birthday was like quite mind-numbing to me, because obviously I'd gone through a lot the previous months, but then, you know, that whole mentality of being told that I wouldn't be a mum anytime soon, and then when I became a mum, it just completely changed me as a person. And to see him grow up like every day, and just him progressing, having this little personality, is just so rewarding and so amazing. So I'm glad that, you know, me having a job, I can actually you know, give him more things that he'll need. Obviously babies don't always need a lot, but when it comes to, like, you know, because Christmas is coming up, not that I celebrate Christmas, but obviously my husband does, and his birthday is coming up soon, and it's just more about, you know, treating your family. And just this concealer is way too bright, I put too much on, but you know, just having money is just, you know, there's no stress around it. And now I feel like, obviously having a job, I get to do things that I want to do and be an independent person again, because when you become a mum, all of that kind of goes out the window. I'm not even sugarcoating anything. Like, you really become a different person, because, you know, I knew this obviously when we were trying. I knew that I wouldn't really be me anymore, because you are a mum and you have a responsibility, and you have so many other things that you need to be doing with your day. So everything that I do has to work around my baby, and, you know, just getting on with my day and stuff. I look so crazy right now. I'm just gonna add some more of my skin tint on top, just so I don't look completely crazy. But yeah, having a job has been so, like, well, I haven't started when I film this. It's tomorrow that I'm going to be starting, so I will give you some update how it's going. But yeah, I'm super excited, because I get to go out in the world again and just do things that I really enjoy. Yeah, it was my birthday recently. I did absolutely nothing, which was totally fine, because it was a Sunday, which was so annoying, because if it was a weekday, I could have gone out and done a couple of things, but I hate going out on the weekends. Like, today is a Sunday, and I had to go to a couple of shops down near where I live, and I instantly regretted leaving the flat, because I was just like, there's so many people, and it's really warm today. Like, you know, it's getting into the winter time, and it's sunny and it's warm, and I don't like it. But alas, we're just going for it. But yeah, if my birthday was on like a weekday, I would have definitely done a couple more things. But I'm fine to have done nothing, is fine. But yeah, when, like, the last couple of months have been all over the place. Like, you know, I was obviously going to mention it, because it's been something that has been playing on my mind for a while, but talking about like the loss of my dad and stuff. So in case you're kind of like new to my channel, or I don't know if anyone doesn't really know, but my dad passed away like 6 months ago almost, and that obviously has been a complete like gear shift in my whole kind of life, and like how I am in my own like kind of personality, and how I just am as a person now, because I know that I have completely changed, and I'm not who I was, which is kind of, you know, I know he wouldn't have wanted me to be like that. But when it comes to something as a loss, like, I have lost so many people in my life over the years, but when it comes to someone that is your parent, and someone that you've obviously grown up and seen almost every day of your life, and then now when things have changed, they're not there anymore, your kind of whole life just changes. And, you know, it was inevitable that things like this do happen, but it doesn't obviously prepare you on how your emotions are. And, you know, I have recently gone through 6 weeks of counselling because I really felt like I needed to talk to someone, and I know that it was still fresh, so maybe I went into it a little bit early, but I did refer myself to talking therapies, but they did actually say, oh, you know, it might be easier or better if you have counselling, because with talking therapies, I've had it before, it's very different. So talking therapies is a lot of based around anxiety and a lot of things. Now I've had you know, the kind of talking therapies around my anxiety many years ago, and they just show you and they help you with like lots of like breathing and, you know, fight or flight type of thing, which I guess wasn't really the reason that I needed to have talking therapies because of my dad. So yeah, I had 6 weeks of counselling. I was on the waiting list for a few weeks, so you know, I wasn't waiting a really long time, which I was extremely grateful for, because if I had gone through like private, it would have cost so much money, and I wouldn't have been able to do that at all. So the fact that I was able to go through my local councils, like talking therapies, and then referring me to a counsellor, which was brilliant, and they even referred me to like a job kind of help, if that makes any sense, which wasn't very helpful, but because by that time I'd already found a job and stuff. So you know, if you've been through something recently, it doesn't just have to be a loss of someone, it can really be many things. If you've got a lot going on in your mind and you're not happy with certain things, I highly recommend going to counselling, because it really does help. Like, you can always chat to your family, like if you have like family or friends, of course there are people that you can talk to, but when it comes to certain topics, you don't want to like bother your family, or you don't want to like bother anyone, you know. It's not that you're bothering them, like, you know, with my husband, I know I can talk to him about everything and he will listen and be there for me, because they'll make you look at things in such a different way. Like the way that the lady who was my counsellor asked me certain questions about, you know, how my morning process is, and, you know, not as in like wake up in the morning, as in morning as in, you know, carrying on my life after everything is going on. I just feel like the way that she kind of questioned a lot of things was really helpful, because you look at things in a different way, and my goals were kind of very different. Because when she said to me, oh, you know, why do you want counselling, and I was just like, I just need someone to talk to. Like, of course I can talk to anyone, I can talk to family, I can talk to my husband and blah blah blah, but when it comes to certain things, you want to talk to someone else, and that's totally fine. That's what counselling is for. So if you feel like you need to like talk to someone about your if you feel like you need to talk to someone about what's going on, I highly recommend it, because it is really helpful. Like, I feel like I've definitely grown stronger, because a lot of it for me was wanting to control my crying, which sounds really silly, but it's not. I mean, I know it's not silly at all, because I've gone through such a traumatic thing that I just wasn't expecting to happen, and your body just kind of like, any excuse for me to start crying, I would. And you know, anytime I would talk about my dad or think about my dad, I would start crying. And so for me, I wanted to be able to talk about him and just think about him without getting super upset. And I feel like I have definitely gotten a long way, because now if I talk about him, I'm less likely to kind of start breaking down and crying and, you know, going overly emotional, which is not a bad thing. I highly recommend like people expressing their emotions and how they're feeling, but for me, I kind of didn't want to just constantly go, oh, talk about my dad and then just start crying. I'm just kind of like, you know, it's only been 6 months. It's not been, I mean, it could be 6 years, it could be 6 decades, I don't know. But the fact that, you know, if I talk about him, I know I would still get upset. But the extent of being upset, you know, I wanted to kind of control it a bit. And I feel like I've definitely, quote unquote, gotten better as to like how my emotions are running. Like, I've definitely gotten less with my emotions, if that makes sense. And not to say that I have stopped my emotions, because I definitely haven't. I still am definitely like crying a lot about it, but just not as much as I was, obviously. And I'm not trying to rush the mourning process, because it's not something that I would recommend just kind of trying to kind of forget about, because it's not something that you can forget about. It's just something that you kind of train yourself to live with, because you unfortunately have to live with this for the rest of your life. And it's something that, you know, your body and your mind still will find very confusing, because for me, I still don't feel like he's gone, because every time I go around to my mum's, I'm still expecting to see him like sitting on the sofa just watching telly or having a cigarette or something, you know, things that he would normally do. And obviously that's just not there anymore, and it's okay to like miss the things that he did, because, or the things that kind of reminds me of him, like, you know, talking about certain films or talking about certain TV shows that he enjoyed, and just talking about them with like happiness and joy is something that I'm trying to do, because a lot of things that reminds me of him make me happy, and I don't want to feel sad when I think about this TV show or think about this band, because I want them to be good memories. And I feel like the counselling really kind of helped me. So I definitely, like I said, I definitely recommend going to some type of therapy or some kind of counselling if you feel like it will benefit you. I haven't used this palette in a while. This is really nice. I haven't tried any Colourpop in such a long time, and this is such an old palette. I'm actually going to quickly go off camera and do my lips, because I can't talk and do them at the same time, so I'll be right back. Okay, I feel like this makeup look is probably not my favourite. I think the concealer was just too much. Like, I look like you can see me from like 10 miles away. But yeah, that was just kind of like a little update on just how things are going. And you know, it's still a process that I'm learning when it comes to mourning. And like I said, I don't want it to be, it's not going to be something for me where I just forget about it tomorrow. Like, for me, it's a process that I will forever remember. Like, it's, you know, the day that he passed is always going to be the day that's locked in my brain, no matter how much I kind of don't want to think about it. But I know that it's an important part of my life that I shouldn't forget, because, you know, he was there when I was born, I was there when he passed, and it's just, you know, that's just, I know that's how life is. And again, when I was talking to the counsellor about it, I just said to her, you know, it's about the accepting stage, because, you know, you live your life just kind of understanding that you're not going to see that person anymore. And no matter how many times I go to his grave or I see pictures of him or talk about him, I know that I'm never going to forget him and what he taught me and just everything. But you know, 6 months is still a really raw kind of timing to kind of get over things or kind of carry on, but I am trying my best, and that's the best that I can do. And you know, being a mum, watching my baby grow during this time has been so kind of like, it's been difficult, because I've been trying to be there for him, but then be there for myself and be there for my family. But you know, it's a struggle that you just have to kind of, I always just say to myself, we're gonna get on with it, and tomorrow is another day. And you know, I live each day as it comes, and that's just how I want to do it. I don't want to think about, you know, how I'm going to feel next week. I'm going to worry about how I'm feeling today. But yeah, that was my kind of little update, and it was, I guess, what, 20 minutes of me just rambling on about, you know, life. But that's what this video is for. If you have any questions about anything, I'm very happy to answer them. I don't know about what about mum life, or, you know, losing a parent life and stuff. And yeah, just want to say thank you guys for like putting up with me this year. I've not uploaded a whole ton, because, you know, being a mum is literally a full-time job, and trying to have the time to juggle things that I want to do and just looking after him and not trying to disrupt things that he needs. But you know, I'm still making content, I'm still enjoying it, and it's part of so many great communities that I love. And yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because again, I film and upload whenever I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias, because I'm always active on there. Every day I'm like posting things or whatever in my stories. And yeah, I appreciate you, and yeah, hope you're having a good day. Bye guys.